many of you have received a phone call on your phone and pressed that very convenient ignore button, which even comes with special options now? In a meeting, can't talk now, call you back later. I know I've done it before. Sometimes you're really not in a meeting, but that call comes and we just don't want to answer it at that point in time. For me in my life, my religious vocation was that same way. Even as a young girl, I enjoyed going to church. I went to a Catholic school and the sisters taught me how to appreciate the Eucharist and the Word of God especially, so I liked to read at Mass. And all of the church ladies who would pray their rosary used to ask me over and over, "Do you want to be a nun when you grow up?" And I always told them, no way. I had my own plans for my life. I wanted to study. I wanted to get a good education, travel the world, and work and earn my own way in life. Now God was very good and patient to me, and He granted me all of those desires. I was able to pursue my bachelor's degree in English, Spanish, and accountancy. I thought I would work in international business. But then as I traveled, I studied in Costa Rica and traveled to Nicaragua, Panama, and Spain, and I had an opportunity to work in Argentina, teaching English at a teacher training college. And in that experience, I fell in love with teaching and decided to pursue my master's degree in teaching. I continued to travel, going to Peru and Chile, visiting Brazil for World Youth Day, even traveling to Cameroon, Africa on a mission trip. So God granted those first desires. I got a very good education, and I traveled the world. Then I worked as a teacher for 6 years in different institutions, and I enjoyed very much my work. I taught English, Spanish, theology, and served as the director of campus ministry. So I had met all of my worldly goals and ambitions. But I had a problem. I wasn't happy. My heart was restless, yearning for something more, and I didn't know what that was. It took me time to realize that God was calling me over and over, from country to country, school to school, even degree to degree. There was a longing in my heart, a restlessness pushing me forward to look for something more, something bigger than my own limited dreams. So that was when I truly began to actively discern a vocation, to take seriously the questions that the little old church ladies asked me when I was a child, and to say to God, "Are you calling me perhaps? Have I been pressing that ignore button over and over in my life?" So then I started to pursue spiritual direction, to speak with other religious, and to go on a search of my own. And I knew many sisters. I grew up with Franciscans, I worked with Dominican sisters, and I met so many missionary congregations during my travels. Yet not one of them filled that restlessness in my heart, that yearning for something more. So I told God, if you want me to be a sister, if you're calling me really, you need to bring the right congregation to me. And that's when I met our CMC sisters for the first time and learned about the Congregation of the Mother of Carmel, the first indigenous congregation for women in India. I spent more and more time with the sisters, and I felt completely at home with them. Although we had differences in culture and language, and even with the rite in the Catholic Church, I still felt that this was the community that God was inviting me to respond to. So over time, I spent more and more opportunities with them to share, to have adventures, and to go and explore together what it means to live a religious life. And it was during the sharing of that story that I realized God was pushing me, calling me to go a little farther in this journey. So I entered the convent for the first time, and there were 3 things that particularly attracted me to the religious life. The first is our charism. You might not know what the word charism means, but a charism is a particular gift of a religious congregation. They're called to serve God and to serve the world. And particularly for CMC, our charism is the personal sanctification and redemptive uplift of the people of God, especially women and children. The short form is be holy and lead others to holiness. For me, that inspired me so much, especially the emphasis on uplifting women and children. Our founder father, St. Kyriakos Elias Chavra, saw what he could do to transform the lives of women and children in Kerala, even in the 19th century, opening to them education, work, and the possibility to support themselves and to create better families for the future. In my work as a teacher, that was my same vision as well, so I was very drawn to that. The second area that attracted me to our religious life is our Carmelite spirituality. This spirituality focuses on the power of silence and solitude, to encounter the presence of God in prayer, and to take the power of that prayer experience to serve the people of God in all of our apostolic ministries. And finally, the third area is our community life. I have seen throughout my years of formation how the sisters support me and my family in the midst of difficult circumstances, that no matter what tragedy or challenge we might encounter, that community is there to encourage and to support us. For me, I was so happy when I answered that call, when I stopped ignoring the message of God over and over in my life. St. Augustine says, "You created our hearts for you, O Lord, and we are restless until we rest in you." For me, my vocation was a journey of restlessness, of yearning to love, and God finally brought me to the place where I feel so at home, where I can imagine giving my life to serve God and to serve the people of God until the very moment of my death, as our founder fathers and our first members did as well. I invite you, if you hear God calling you in the silence of your heart or in the voice of other people, consider answering that call and see what wonders God has in store for you as well.